Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to an episode of These Are The Voyages. I'm the captain, Captain Chase McKinney, and joining me once again for more Get Learned Real Good, my dear friends, Commander Eric and Commander David. What it is, y'all. How y'all doing?
What's happening?
I'm back.
Yeah, you is.
Back.
Welcome back, bud. You're
Yeah,
back from outer space.
Yep. I don't have a sad look on my face, though.
No, you have a happy look on your face, which I like.
I'm happy, right?
Yeah.
Talking to my friends.
When you're happy when you want to be, that is. I mean,
that's not true. You can't just be happy because you want to be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, as a a mental health professional, I think you would know that's probably not true. You can't just decide to be happy.
I mean, you could. But
I don't think that's the way like brain chemistry works. I mean, I'm no expert on that, but I don't think that's the way it works.
I mean, you just gotta, in the Bob Newhart approach is just to, get over it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they would have told us like 60 years ago.
That's right.
Get over it.
Just get over it, man.
Be a man and get over it.
Golly.
Hide all your feelings inside until you explode.
Yep.
I feel like I think that's relevant to these episodes.
Boy, ain't it? That's why I'm the dean of the School of Counseling around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, golly. Anyway. Well, guys, it's good to have all y'all back, both you back at the same place at the same time. I know we were kind of touch and go there for a second, but it's always a pleasure having y'all around to chit chat and whatnot. I don't know, anything cool or significant happened since the last time we were all together?
I mean, we failed Lent already.
We
failed it epically. We tried. We gave it like a day's try. Tried to give up flour. Didn't work.
Not the plant. The stuff.
Like harina, like the stuff that you make bread and tortillas and pasta out of. We've had all those things, so we failed.
Yeah, thickened sauces. Yeah, you could fail real easy on that.
Yeah, we were trying to be like, just eat chicken or beef, and with we weren't trying to give up carbs, just flour, so we still could eat potatoes and rice, but. Yeah, we failed.
You didn't want to try like one of those alternate gluten-free flours? It's not flour, technically.
I know.
It's not wheat flour.
No. And they make that they make like cauliflower pizza and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You could have egg noodles, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You could do that.
Rice noodles, but yeah, we just failed.
Man. Man.
What did you fail with though?
Pasta, tortillas, right? Tacos. I'm married to a Mexican, right? We got to have our tacos. And I don't like corn tortillas.
Okay.
Really?
I don't like corn tortillas.
Neither do I.
I like the flour.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
but okay, stop. How do you prepare them though? Like, how do you eat them? Do you just eat them raw? Like effectively?
Sometimes we put them on in the stove on the skillet, and we flip them with your hands in this household because we're hardcore like that. My suegra will like look at me wrong if I try to use like tongs or sort of fork or something. You just got to flip them by hand.
Yeah, I always put a little bit of oil down, and you just do like a real gentle sort of fry on them. You got to get a little color on it.
Mm-hmm.
I love tortillas, but sometimes when you go to like say like a food truck, for instance, and they just give you like two non warmed up corn tortillas, and it just doesn't work. They fall apart.
Like
very dumb.
So the main thing, like whenever I've gone to like various either Tex-Mex or authentic Mexican places, it's like more or less like street taco-y kind of stuff that I'm getting, and that stuff is just like coated in like oil or lard or something. It's incredibly just moist, basically. And And then like when we make stuff at home, which is not authentic by any means, it's like home enchiladas, and it's more of like an enchilada casserole type of thing. And we get like the little, I don't know, like the 20 pack or whatever it is of Mission tortillas or something like that, and just douse them in like the enchilada sauce and layer it with like meat and cheese. And I've just never really been a fan of corn, period. Y'all know that about me. I'm just not a corn fan. I mean, if I'm making like a street bowl kind of thing, like I might put like a little bit of corn in there for like color, but like if you're asking me to voluntarily eat corn, you're gonna be waiting a while.
So you're using corn like paprika, basically, just a little bit of color in there.
Basically, yeah.
But like all your enchiladas that you get at restaurants are made with corn tortillas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make enchiladas with flour tortillas.
Mm-mm. Well, you could, but it's not going to be good.
That's not going to work.
I do know that, yeah.
But I mean, at that point, you've got so much stuff slathered on it that like I'm not really tasting the tortilla at that point.
Okay, so I'm going to return back to like the fact that you're like, we didn't do so hot. So even though you may feel like you crashed and burned,
it's only been a week. It was only like 2 days.
with Lent and whatnot. So let me at least ask this, okay? Like, so the flour thing didn't work out so hot. Did you at least choose to maybe go a different route with something else?
No.
Okay.
No, once it's over, it's over.
Okay. All right. I will not. I've already shared my embarrassing Lent story with one of our former high school teachers back in the day. I will not relive that again. I'm pretty sure Eric remembers this because I shared it on the show probably about a year ago.
Yeah, I think I remember.
So anyway, well, anything else, guys?
We actually got out last night and went to a concert.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, we left the kid with his grandma, who kept her up all night.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Apparently, he got really upset when she went to give him a bath because it wasn't. It's like, this isn't home. He is getting to a very recognizable point that, like, if we're out all day, and as soon as we get home, he gets really excited when he comes in. He goes up. He's got two little kid pianos. He goes and plays a few keys and then runs around for his cars and stuff. He likes being home. And he was not home last night. And he was not happy about it.
I mean, we all like being home. Let's be honest. Home is the best. Home is the best place. Like, go big or go home. I want to go home.
Okay. I don't know if it was just okay. We're gonna go there for like just a few minutes, and then we'll get into Talking Trek because we have a lot to talk about with these two pair of episodes that we're doing. Okay, as a kid, however many times it may have been, do you remember like hotel or even motel, but especially hotel beds,
Holiday Inn,
being really comfortable, like more comfortable than your bed at home?
No, I don't remember that.
I do. Like, that was my experience growing up. Like, I always thought hotel beds were like super comfortable, and I always looked forward to like staying in a hotel because it was like a dream or whatever. But like, now that I travel like 2 or 3 times a year for work, I'm like, gosh, like these beds suck. Like, it takes me like a day to get used to the dang mattress, and I'm dreaming of getting home because it's just so much better.
I think as a kid, you were just excited for something new and different.
Maybe.
I can't think of anything else that would because I don't remember like hotel beds being super comfortable.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe you were staying at nicer hotels than I was. We would always travel and we would stay at the Motel 6 or the Super 8 or the Red Roof Inn. So maybe you were staying at the fancier places.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Like, we stayed at like a Courtyard, a couple times. I
mean, David just mentioned the Holiday Inn, so that's a step up, right?
I think whenever, like, say my stepdad was traveling for business, and then I'd go with him or whatever, Best Westerns. I think we stayed at more Best Westerns.
Okay.
Best Western.
I don't know, man. Well, all right. Well, good talk. Fellas, let's do this. Let's talk Trek. We have 2 episodes we need to talk about this go around. So everyone buckle up, Buttercup. We are going into spoilerific territory. So this is your red alert as we talk about episodes 7 and 8 of the first season of Starfleet Academy, titled Cosine and the Life of the Stars.
Okay. Before we get into it, can I just talk existentially for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't here, and I haven't gotten to listen to. I've been really busy. What you guys said, I saw the ratings, right? Which David's was right. It was kind of like where I was. Chase, I was a little surprised by your rating. I enjoyed that episode. But I think Star Trek has this pattern of we have this big, impactful episode, right? Very dramatic, very impactful, very action-packed. And then, we slow down and we take a break afterwards, right? We got the best of both worlds, and then we slow down, we have family.
Mm-hmm.
We got the whole Xindi arc and the Stormfront, and then we slow down and do Home and Enterprise, right? We got the Dominion War first starts out. We got the big war, Favor the Bull, we retake Deep Space Nine, and then we slow down and we have Worf and Jetzia's wedding.
Yep.
And then even in Strange New Worlds, we had the Hegemony episode, Hegemony 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then we slow down, we have Wedding Bell Blues right after it.
Mm-hmm.
And tried and true pattern here, right? So we have big episode, right? Traumatic for essentially kids, right? I know they're not children, but they're young adults, right? Caleb is 21. I would assume he's probably one of the oldest of these people. I think Sam is supposed to be 17. I think Genesis is probably in that 18, 19 range, right? So young adults who haven't experienced this sort of thing. So very traumatic for them watching one of their peers be murdered, right? It's very traumatic, and we slow down. And then we slow down again.
We do.
And my question, just existentially, could we have skipped episode 7?
100
Yada, yada, yada. The month has passed. Tarima's been gone. And then now we're here at episode 8. Could we have, because that's essentially kind of what we did in Strange New Worlds after the Hegemony, right? Like, we kind of yada, yada, yada. Nurse Chapel went off to do her thing, and now she's back. And Captain Patel, she's basically, she's not fully recovered, but she's been through recovery, and we're in like a better place, and we yada, yada, yada it. Like, could we have done that and skipped episode 7 and just come to episode 8?
Yes.
Yeah,
but I make that point with saying take the Darum and Jaden storyline, because I think that's interesting. Pull that out and put that in some other episode somewhere, because I'm sure you can fit it somewhere, and just skip all that extra crap and jump right to here.
Yeah, so I'll say this, and it's not really in defense of anything, but I know I'll speak for myself in complaining during Discovery when we didn't really have the character development that, we're kind of used to seeing. Like, do we know anything about the bridge crew? This is effectively a 2-line story. You have one side figuring out more of Remy's past, right? Interject Jade in there, and then on the other side you have some of Genesis's backstory. So it's not really character development, it's character backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, we want you to get to know the characters more. but you could have sandwiched that in, I think, as a B or a C plot in any other episode, especially considering how long these freaking episodes are.
They are so long. I'm watching them with commercials because I have Paramount Plus with ads, and they legitimately take an hour and a half.
Dang.
Like, legitimately take an hour and a half to watch these whole things. So I'm like, I'm struggling to get them watched by the time. I literally finished like 5 minutes before we started recording.
Wow.
So it's fresh.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
I get your point, David. I feel like we do know these characters better than we ever knew like our ensemble in Discovery. And I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But geez, we're going slow.
There's something, and one of you just remind me, because I don't think now is the appropriate time for me to bring it up, but especially when we get to episode 8, Life of the Stars, someone remind me to talk about trauma some more, because like I'm just noticing a theme across like the current era of Trek, especially like with it being more fresh, like with certainly with the Discovery stuff when we get to the 32nd century, certainly Strange New Worlds with what we see like with hegemony and whatnot, and certainly with this. So I want to make sure that I come back and talk about that. But I don't want to do it now without us having talked about the 2 episodes.
And then I will say one more thing. I just want to say, you're off the top of the bat. Darren Ramey, I apologize. Right? I apologize to you, Darren Ramey, because you are not Douchey McDoucherson. And I apologize for calling you that. Like, you acted up, right? But I understand the place of where you're acting up. And you're actually a pretty decent dude. Like, I was wrong, right? I'll admit that. And I even said, I think I asked you in one episode, Chase, we saw a little bit of character growth, but is that going to continue or is it going to reset? And I asked you that question, it was kind of rhetorically, because I felt like the answer was we're going to reset. He's going to just continue being this douchey antagonistic character. But he is not that, right? I actually kind of really enjoy his character now, and I apologize to you, Darren Ramey.
There we go. You can tweet him later.
Okay. All
Treat
right, I apologize. Treat the dude. I'll treat him on Kionia. Do they have the internet on Kionia?
They got all sorts of stuff on Kionia, dude.
Okay. All right.
They probably invented the internet. I mean, that's probably where Al Gore's from. You know what I'm saying? He's probably from Kionia.
You might be right. Probably.
That's a deep cut for the non-millennials out there. Oh man, or the Xers. It's if you're like Gen Z or newer.
Gen Alpha or whatever they call it now.
Yeah, Gen Alpha comes after Gen Z. Anyway. Okay. Well, okay, so yeah, we have these 2 episodes, Cosine, and we have The Life of the Stars. And these are, I mean, forgive me for saying it this way. I mean, maybe y'all agree, but like these are very, especially the first episode, it's very simple. I mean, the stories are pretty like cut and dry, I would say. With Cosine, I mean, we're essentially dealing with like the Academy's version of Spring Break. It's
only like 3 days or something. It's like spring weekend.
Yeah.
They're still going on Ibiza.
Yeah. All World's Day. Is what's up, and they're gonna go catch a little R&R for a little period of time before they start classes up again, and we have like the sweet like instant transport hub thing. You walk through an invisible line and boom, there you go, you're off to wherever. And we have people, we have different students going different places, right? Like we have Sam, who's going to go somewhere. We have Genesis, who's going to go meet up with her papa and hang out. But not before we have our dear Chancellor saying, hey, BT Dubs, I'm going to basically put you in the pre-command track. And can I just kind of ask something? Like, it's part nitpick, but also part honest question. She's wearing red. How is she not on the command track already? Like, I get like it's the captain's track, but like they're still calling it like pre-command track, but she's wearing red. She's in the command track. So that just didn't, I don't know. It was just kind of weird to me.
Aren't they all wearing red?
No.
No?
No.
No.
I guess Caleb's wearing red, isn't he?
Caleb's wearing gray, which is undeclared.
Oh, I thought like isn't his undershirt red though? Because like when he, especially in the second episode when he's talking with Terima, his shirt's red, isn't it?
Okay, so that's like
he's got the red jacket.
So their cadet uniforms have like the different division trims on them. So like his division trim is gray or silver or whatever, which is undeclared. But like general, I guess, like activity kind of clothing or whatever, I guess is like some random red t-shirt, like a tech shirt or something like that. But no, like Genesis wears command red. Darum wears command red, if I'm not mistaken. We have Jaden who's wearing science blue. Sam wearing operations yellow. Who am I forgetting? I think our other guy, and I'm really sorry because I like him, but like our other guy, Terima's brother, I think he's undeclared also. I think he wears gray, if I'm not mistaken.
Is this guy okay? So I know Terima has a brother. Is that Akam who's in this second episode playing the stage manager?
Yes.
Yeah. They switched him from the War College.
No, he was.
No,
he did War College with her, wasn't he?
No. He went Starfleet.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. Well, they really haven't elaborated on him at all, so it's
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, like she's on like this captain pre-command whatever kind of track kind of situation, and some stuff's gonna happen like after All Worlds Day comes to an end, and they're gonna, she's apparently like some kind of shoo-in or whatever.
It's like an application process.
Yeah.
They have to review it,
and we're gonna find out some stuff about that.
They're gonna check on her references,
which may not be what it seems, just looking at her facial expression and everything. So she's supposed to go, but ultimately she stays behind. Caleb gets clearance to stay at the academy.
Oh, and by the way, just another point to show off Caleb's physique, man. Look at that guy, sunbathing, got a little baby oil on there, all jacked,
That guy is jacked. But here's the thing: he's gonna go stay with like a foster family in where's he going? I forget.
Yeah, I forget too.
I don't know, Lagos or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, he doesn't want to go. You could stay behind. That if the dorms are closing, the school's closing, you got to get out.
Yep.
Like you can't stay. Like I don't care.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, bud.
I know this for a fact, right? Because when I went to school down in Florida, I was trying to stay behind when we were during the semester break. And they legitimately said, everyone's got to get the heck up on out of here. You could not stay in the dorm, right? Even though we were paying for that dorm. School's closed, you got to get out. There's no way she would let him stay behind like this. Right?
Right.
But I get this is stupid, but like, why does he have to go with some like host family though? I mean,
where else is he going to go?
Because the plot.
Who cares? He's 21, right?
Right. Well, because he doesn't know anybody, and they're hoping to like celebrate All Worlds Day to like get him into the spirit of it.
Yeah,
right?
he can celebrate. Just go out on his own, do his thing.
You're right. He is 21, though. They're like, there's a hotel down the street.
Golly.
Right.
Oh, man. Well, everyone's going to go do their thing. And Darum, among other folks, he catches wind of something, and he has to go He ends up taking care of something back at home, and
He's kidnapped.
It's one of those like bachelor party kidnappings, right?
yeah, it's the Hangover.
Yeah, just your typical knock you out, pull you through a portal kind of bachelor party.
Yeah. And Jaden just follows behind, and shenanigans ensue.
He doesn't get to go to Ibiza with Kyle.
No, dang it.
Oh no.
I thought you were being kidnapped.
Okay, so let's just talk about the Darum and Jaden stuff for a little bit, because I feel like this is like pretty simple kind of stuff. So we get to Kionia, right? That's the name of the planet.
Well, I think it's like a moon or something, right?
Yeah.
So we know that there's like something about Darum, but we're really getting into like character stuff in the sense that he's essentially royalty, and there's been like an arranged marriage of sorts for a long period of time, and part of it seems like it was essentially deferred for a while, and now like your ticket's up and you've got to actually do the thing now, which means you can't really do the academy. That was kind of my understanding of it.
So is he actually royalty though, or his potential wife the royalty? Because the way I took it, it was her parents who were the royalty, and they were abdicating because of a health scare. And I thought she was the royalty, and he's like marrying into it.
Yeah. Well, the way I took it is like his family is rich, and he's marrying into the royal family because the royal family needs a good political match or something like that.
That might have been it. Yeah.
Right. She's the royalty, and yeah, like they had agreed that he would be able to have some sort of life and career first before he had to go into this marriage.
Yeah, and how
right?
old?
The same way like to Paul, right, had her arranged marriage, and she was allowed to have her career first before she had to go and get married.
Did anyone look up how old Darum is?
No, but I can't imagine he's any much older than Caleb, who we know is officially 21.
Right.
But you know, he's an alien, right? He's not human, so maturation is different, right? You measure time differently, so you can't necessarily put, human years on him.
I mean,
that's why, like Alexander, Worf's son, right? He, people say the timeline doesn't work. Well, he's an alien.
Yeah. I'm just trying to like make sense of like how old this is, because you're right about the alien thing. Anyway, yeah, so like there's power and influence that comes from his family. Whether he is or isn't royalty, I think is neither here nor there, other than the fact that his number's been called and it's time for him to get hitched. The plan's not going according to plan, and Jaden is there, and Darum essentially names him his cosign, which is essentially like best man, like his closest friend or something like that. And it's just like a comedy of errors in a way, that's happening throughout this whole process with Darum, his betrothed, and like the other folks that are there as well. And then just some of the frustration that comes up between Jaden and Darum. And then like ceremonial attire that needs to be worn, and significance of like certain like words and ceremonies along the way. And the thing that I think really causes a stink for the lady that's going to be queen is hearing Jaden's best man speech, essentially, in the sense that the words that he spoke is completely or mostly contradictory to that which she knows about Darum, and is essentially saying, I can't let you go through with this because basically you're not the person I thought you were, and you're a completely different person with these other folks. Go live your life, basically. I mean, was that am I getting that right? Like that was my experience with it.
Yeah, I think she realizes that he's not I don't want to say narcissistic, maybe
He's not as self-absorbed as
self-centered, right? Is maybe a softer than narcissistic, right? I don't know.
Sure.
He cares more about people than he lets on. He's one of those types of people that he wants people to think he doesn't like them or he's too cool for them, but he cares deeply and he wants to be a part of something, right? And Starfleet is helping him be a part of something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's that, but like, I don't know. I think it's, you could also potentially interpret it as like, I think that they made a little bit of a deal out of making sure that they have two ruling people. Like that seems to be a big deal for some reason. Like maybe it's just they all have different tasks. So we on one end we're trying to do our duty and go through with this because that's kind of what Raimi's trying to do. He's just gonna go through with it, but she's seeing that isn't where his heart is.
Yeah.
And also that he's potentially not really in love with her. You know? So I think there's like an element of her like letting him go. Although the dialogue when we got to that, I felt like seemed a little weird to me. I don't know, it just seemed like she was being like really harsh about it. But, you know, there again, I don't know.
The thing about the storyline between Darum and Kyra, who he's engaged to, and I guess you know, who like gets married to or whatever, is this reminded me so much of Spock and T'Pring, and then also T'Pol. Like this just felt like it was just I hate to say it this way, but it felt a lot like a copy and paste job from Vulcan Romance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't feel it that way because I think it's definitely different than Spock and T'Pring because T'Pring I think had more agency, right? And she had an angle the whole time of how she didn't want to go through with it, and she was playing Spock, right? So I think there's more agency there. I think here at Cairo, she was just like, well, I'm going to marry this person because I'm going to, right? And I see that he's going to be miserable, so I'm going to like let him go, even though Darum is 100% willing to do his duty, even though that's not what he wants. I feel like T'Pol was sort of forced into it. Like her mother sort of pressured her into it, and Koss kind of pressured her into it as well. So I don't know, it feels different to me. I get the arranged marriage is not like unique to Vulcan culture, so I don't know. It felt different to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. But I like the relationship between Darum and Jaden, right? I think we saw it like forming a couple episodes ago when Darum came in and helped Jaden with his like fear of public speaking, and he sort of gave him like some pointers and some sort of like I don't know, like I don't know what to say, but he helped him get through it. He didn't like physically help him get his public speaking, but he kind of like gave him the confidence boost or something that he needed to. And then I don't know, I felt like they were kind of like maybe trying to play up like a romantic angle between Darum and Jaden. Like maybe he was interested in him romantically, but now Jaden is with Kyle. And I think maybe there was sort of like a little bit of like longing looks right, in this episode.
I would say so. Yeah.
Right. But you know, I really like Jaden's speech. It feels truthful. It feels from the heart. It feels spoken. It's eloquently said, right? And I appreciate it. It feels like a true thing that you would say to somebody that you legitimately care about in a moment like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm still not convinced that Kyle isn't secretly evil, though. There's something wrong with that guy.
Why? Because his name is Kyle?
Nope. Just something in his little Kyle eyes. I just don't know about that guy.
We got a few episodes left to find out, man.
It was Kyle all along.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, like when it's all said and done, you know, Darum doesn't do the thing. He returns. And
well, he's going to do it, but she lets him go. They have to go through with it first, right?
Well,
he has to abdicate so she can let him out of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I spoke way too fast on that. But yes, they do go through with it, but then ultimately he backs out, abdicates, like you said, and then they end up all back at the academy, hanging out, and then Jaden and Kyle are able to go hang out.
Do you think that's the end for Darum and this storyline, or do you think at some point we have to revisit it in the future and there's some kind of fallout, like his family, and then he has to go back there and deal with it, right? Would you be interested in that story, or are you like, yeah, this was it and we're done with it?
I could have it either way. I think if I'm writing this thing, which I'm not, but if I were, I mean, it would be low-hanging fruit. Like, you already have like a pre-existing place, situation, sets of relationships that you can pull the strings on. So yeah, I mean, like, maybe there is something, like, we don't know anything about Kionia and like the Kionian people, but beyond this, like this situation that happened here. So yeah, if we were to pull on some strings, and maybe there is some negative stuff, because now can there be a claim? Like, we don't know what happened. I mean, in the in-between points, I don't think they ever consummated their relationship, but like, let's say they did, like, then there becomes like a potential like throne kind of claim, like you have with any other kind of monarchy kind of situation. So that might be something down the road if that were to happen. I doubt it would, but I don't know, why not?
I feel like this is a thing. If we have 20 plus episodes, we can revisit it.
Yeah.
But with only 10, I feel like.
Yeah, and Kurtzman has said something to the effect of that he envisioned Academy to be a 4-season kind of show to kind of get them through the Academy, to mirror like a college kind of traditional system. So
yeah.
And with that being like about 40 episodes, I doubt it would happen. To your point, Eric.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're done with it.
Yep,
Donezo.
I mean, I'm interested in having more like Darum centric episodes, right? Give him the opportunity to take center stage, whether it be in a command training exercise or on like an away mission sort of thing, where we've got an instructor who's watching us as we're leading an away mission where he's the main character. I'm interested in those types of episodes, but I don't need to see more of this.
Yeah,
sure. All right, so I guess the other side of this is Genesis does not meet up with her papa, hangs out at the academy because she's trying to somehow in her brain put her best foot forward for this thing, because she has to win at all costs, but also she has to hide some things too. So they hatch this plan to break into the freaking bridge of the Athena, because that's a smart idea when you're being handpicked for a captain's track. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you can't stay here, especially if the school is a ship, right? You can't be here, right? You
Yep.
can't be here when you've basically just got Reno is the only person hanging out here, right?
Yep.
You can't do this, right? This is kind of boring to me. Like, we're playing toxic or not toxic.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
We're making up games, right?
so
We
like
got to catch the slug thing before it
A
falls.
warp slug.
a warp
Yeah.
slug. So okay, did this occur to y'all? Like, I know that there was a lot of drama, like with Discovery and like the tardigrade, like with stuff going on behind the scenes, and like this video game creator suing, you know, Kurtzman and company or whatever for stealing his game and like ripping it off, basically.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So I'm leaving that alone. And then there's like the actual in-universe stuff of like, we're hurting the critter that can make us, you know, travel a certain way. I know that we're no longer in like 23rd century when we first left Discovery, like the beginning part of Discovery, but we had like a spacefaring critter that was being abused along with the shroom network that was getting hurt as well. And now we have a slug that can travel faster than light, impulse, whatever, okay? So did the thought cross any of y'all's mind, like, are we just like redoing this again and not learning from in-universe stuff that's happened before with hurting living beings? Or was that just me?
Yeah.
I never even thought about it. Never popped into my head because I was bored. Honestly, this entire storyline with Caleb and Genesis was boring. Like, and I don't know, it was like boring, but I was like, are they trying to make this romantic? Are we trying to create like a love triangle here?
Probably.
Like trying to create like a second love triangle?
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is going on here?
Yeah,
But then I felt like she was like trying to. At times I was like, is she trying to like get in on him? But then at times she's like, dude, call her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So she was trying to like just help his relationship with Tarima, but at the same time, it's like, is she angling in there? I'm just confused on what she's doing. I don't know. And I was just bored.
Yeah. Honestly, this whole thing could be wrapped up with our discussion like 2 minutes if we really wanted to.
Yeah, and then they were gonna kick her out, but no, we don't kick her out. You're on like latrine duty essentially.
200 hours of menial labor.
Yeah, and then you're not in the pre-command track, right? And
right,
you'll probably never be.
Okay, let me ask y'all this: is this more severe than the Culvert Star maneuver that got Wesley in trouble?
No. Someone died.
Yeah.
Legitimately, someone died, and they were not forthcoming with the information about why someone died. They broke into the bridge so she could steal her academic file. Like, I don't even think those things are comparable.
I'm just concerned about like the honesty, the character of this individual, the integrity of this individual. I mean, like she lied about her references, like to get her into the academy.
But I don't understand, why did she lie about her references if her dad is an admiral? It doesn't make sense.
It's because of the content of the references. They were saying that she was basically running scared. You know, she was fearful of stuff, and that made her feel like, I don't know, people wouldn't trust her in like a command sort of situation. But yeah, I mean, it's no. So in terms of the honesty, I think the only thing that I would put out there is that, like, okay, so if you were talking about generations of Starfleet Academy then sure, it probably would maybe lead to something harsher. But this is like year one. The tradition is in the past, and you've just come from a very broken galaxy. So like somebody acting up like this maybe isn't the end of the world, especially if you think they have promise, which this person does. And their action, you know, maybe you need like some more restrictiveness for this person, whether that's access or whatever, who knows. But at the same token, it's like, I feel like I don't know how many people would have applied to get into the academy for this year. I don't know how many people were rejected, or if everybody was taken or whatever. I have to assume that it's something a little bit more exclusive, you know, because you have, I don't even know how much freaking teaching staff you have. We've seen like what, three instructors,
yeah.
right? So
yeah,
like,
and the doctor is
four,
teaching debate or speech,
yeah.
which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like if you see somebody with promise at this point, you know, maybe you get a little bit more nuanced about it. But yeah, if this were like pre-burn, then who knows, you might have been out of there.
It's like Community, like the show Community. You're already accepted. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it.
That's it. Episode over, right?
Yep.
Caleb sends his message to his little space girlfriend.
Yes, he does. He finally sends one. Dude, call her.
So here's what I want to do. Just so we kind of go in and we're not letting one directly impact the other, like back to back. Let's go ahead and do deltas and ratings for this episode, and then that'll be like a clear line in the sand. We'll start the next episode discussion.
Sure.
All right, I can make this easy. No deltas.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the point of this episode, is deltas, right? Maybe you can say something like command, because at the end we catch them and we're trying to put some kind of punishment, but I don't know. I would say no.
I mean, I'm there with you, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being a dumpster fire, 10 being amazing. Where are we at, guys?
4. Like, I'm looking at my ratings, and I gave the first 2 episodes a 4. It's probably the same as beta test. It like kept my attention the same as that episode. It felt as unimportant as that episode. So I don't know, 4. I was bored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't super entertaining, but like the only thing that I'd say, as I said in the beginning, is it is a little bit more character story, which has at times been lacking in some of the more recent Trek out, you know. So that's at least something. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't terribly interesting, and I think more to Eric's point from the beginning, these could have been smashed in anywhere. These little sub stories is like a B or a C story for any other major story. So as its own episode, it doesn't really match anywhere. And I'll also say this, I actually think viewing the next episode, it kind of makes this worse for me in a little bit of a way, which I'll explain in the next episode, or for the next episode. So I'm gonna kind of go in line with you, Eric, and beta test. I had a 5.5. I'm just gonna say 5.
And yeah, it was dumb and boring to me, like just all around. It just felt like a waste of time. I think I was playing Pokemon Go and chess more than I was actually watching the show. So let's do a 3.
Yeah, I mean, pointless is the word that comes to mind when I watch this episode. Just
sure.
Like unimportant, pointless. Are those the same word? Those synonyms?
It can be if you really want them to be. If you think hard enough. All right. So let's get into the most recent episode, Life of the Stars. So we're talking episode 8 now.
Here she is. She's back.
Yeah, we have Terima back.
No, that's not who I'm talking about.
Yeah, that wasn't who he was talking about at all.
That's not what I'm talking about. She's back, and her personality is different, right?
Mm.
I don't know. She seemed different to me.
Yeah.
She didn't seem like silly Tilly, if that's what you're getting at.
No, she seemed really, really bubbly. I don't know. At the beginning when she showed up. Did that come across that way to any of you?
I felt like there was a little bit more just like confidence sort of thing going on there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
for sure.
very
And that makes
big
sense.
bubbly.
Everything she's been through.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I think we should set this up first. Why don't you go ahead and do that before we just...
You sure you want me to do that?
Yeah, just set it up.
All right. So the kid. So we've been dealing with the trauma of everything from the Miyazaki incident and all the fallout that's come from it, including our dear Terima from the War College, who went into a coma. We've been kind of like on and off with like what the heck's going on for. This is now 2 episodes after the events happened. And we kind of have some like lull of like in between episodes of like her care, and basically she gets a new like dampening implant thing in her neck as a replacement to kind of help it be a little bit more effective compared to the one that she had prior. And because of that, and just like the morale and everything else that's going on, the cadets are just like not doing well, like with like their own exercises, like that they do like on the bridge and in classes and elsewhere. So we're trying to enlist a more creative approach to kind of help them get their mojo back, among other things. And that's when we have the reintroduction of Lieutenant Sylvia Tilly from Discovery, who has been an instructor away for in the Beta Quadrant with some third-year students now, coming back to kind of help kick them in the rear end and get them back on track, basically.
But why? Why is Tilly the choice?
Theater.
When did Tilly become a theater nerd? Right? Was that ever something about her? But why is this the thing? Why is this the moment that brings Tilly back? Right? I just feel like it's random. It's kind of odd. I just feel like, I don't know. I thought when we were introduced to this show and the concept of this show, she was going to be like a big player in the show.
That was the original concept.
She's in one episode, and I've been waiting. Oh, when's she going to come back? I'm just curious what they're going to do, and they bring her back for this, and I don't know. It seemed like an odd choice.
Mm.
Well, it's not just an odd choice, but like, so we even start in here, like we have like literally kids fighting in the hallway, you know? So it's like there's a lot going on here. It's palpable. And instead of like calling in like a counselor or something like that, you call in Tilly to teach them theater. And I'll just go ahead and say this because it gets a little bit further on, but like not just teaching them theater, but forcing them into theater and forcing them to think a certain way instead of letting them work out their stuff. And granted, not really necessarily healthy for most people to just work it out on their own, but like, this isn't guided. This isn't, I was actually looking for Chase's opinion more on this than anything, but like the way this whole thing was handled, like from Terima's standpoint, like she's clearly holding stuff in. She's clearly not dealing with it, but pushing somebody like that does not feel like that would be the best route to her eventual recovery. And it felt like the recovery in quotations, is like exceedingly forced. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, how do you just be okay after being forced to effectively analyze a play? One play, by the way, not multiple.
So this is like, I guess, now as good a time as any to kind of talk about something. So I've mentioned this when we were talking about oh goodness, help me out with the name. I'm completely blanking right now. Helmsman on the Discovery.
Detmer.
Thank you. I knew it started with a D. When Detmer was going through her thing, and then she just did the Kessel run in 5 parsecs, and she got better. We just kind of talked about kind of how we kind of like hand waved away her stuff, and you kind of have to do that with a TV show. One of my favorite trauma writers within my field. Her name is Diane Langberg, and she's very well known when it comes to trauma work. She talks about these 3 things that are needed when it comes to doing trauma work as part of recovery, and that is time, tears, and talking. Time, tears, and talking as part of processing the pain, the trauma, and all the fallout, all the fractures, everything that comes with trauma. Regardless of what the situation is, people are going to interpret and assign meaning to trauma to them in a way that's going to be different from person to person, obviously. And they all were in a very real life and death situation. They're also signing up for it by going into Starfleet. But this is also why I had such an issue with it being developmentally inappropriate for them to be on a ship prior to having more theoretical learning. So when you're dealing with trauma work, among other things, you need to have basic skills as a client. So my job as a counselor, what I'm doing is I'm teaching you grounding work so that when you are feeling flooded as you're going through your trauma narrative, and it's not a one-time thing, it's an ongoing thing. When you start to get more agency back from your traumatic experience, we go through grounding work. We stop what we're talking about and we just ground, and then we revisit when we're ready. So bibliotherapy, where we're using books. I can't call it drama therapy because I'm not trained and certified as a drama therapist. That is an entirely different master's program that you have to go through. I can't call myself a music therapist. I can't music therapy, drama therapy. I can't call myself an art therapist because I didn't go through a master's in art therapy. But if you're incorporating creative interventions, which I can do, I can incorporate plays and TV shows and soundtracks and things like that that are meaningful to them. But just forcing someone into that can be inappropriate. You really want buy-in whenever you're dealing with trauma work, period, full stop. So what's happening, in my opinion, as I'm watching this, and there might be other counselors that listen to this podcast, they might disagree with me, and that's fine. But I feel like there was just a lot of unnecessary emotional and mental flooding that's happening on the part of Tilly to these cadets. Even though she might mean well, I feel like it was very irresponsible. And she's not functioning as a counselor. She's not functioning as a therapist. But I felt like it was potentially doing more harm than it was good. Even if they did arrive at the end, you're still if you're looking at this contextually, you're re-traumatizing them by making them go through this, because trauma is not a straight line like the show wants it to be. Like we just go through one episode, 2 episodes, you go through 20 minutes and boom, you're healed. Right? We want it to be a straight road. We want it to go from point A to point B. It looks like a freaking pretzel, man. Like that's the journey of trauma. You're going up and around, like you're going straight for a while, then you're doing a freaking corkscrew, you're going around in a loop, you're going back to where you just came from, then you're on a straight line again. You're all over the freaking place. And it's a mess, and you're untangling that through all the work that you're doing. So I appreciated like some moments, but others I'm like, this doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, the way I looked at it, and I thought that's very well said from your perspective, and your knowledge. I looked at it as like you can't force someone to deal with something if they're not ready to deal with it, right? And Tarima is clearly not ready to deal with what she's gone through. She needs that time, and if you just keep pushing someone and pushing someone and pushing someone, right? That's not a good thing, right? That person could snap, right? Legitimately could snap, and I feel like Tarima does. Like she does in a few moments crumble under this constant pressure that's being pushed on her, right? At one point, you know, she heads to the bottle, right? That's not healthy, right? To drown your sorrows in alcohol, like that's very unhealthy. At one point it looks like she's ready to just pack up and leave, right? She's like, forget you, I'm out of here. Right? That's not the response that you want, right? She snaps and yells at people, like very angry and confrontationally. Like this does not seem healthy, like at all. Right. And I get that, like Tilly thinks she's trying to help, but she's not trained to do this sort of thing.
She's not.
Like, I'm not trained to do this sort of thing. I'm a teacher, right? I'm a college professor. I teach 18, 19, 20-year-olds who don't know what the hell they're doing with their emotions, right? If somebody came into my classroom and was like, I don't know, I can't push them. I'm like, I'm not the person to deal with this. Like, we have people, like, I can say, here's somebody that can help you, but I'm not going to try to, like, push you toward this. And it feels irresponsible.
Well, there's also the threat of failing. She, you know, I don't remember exactly what that failure amounted to, but like there was something about her failing them or something like that.
Fail this class, you fail the semester.
Yeah, that's what it was, which is a huge threat, and it's absolutely unnecessary. And like to also add on to Tarima as well, like, so yeah, they had the whole thing where they were getting drunk off of whatever, or she was off of whatever, you know, one shot gets you tipsy, 2 shots makes you out of control, man. But she also kind of jumps on Caleb too, and that's a little assaulty in a way, especially when it's not really reciprocated at the time. So like
good for him for stopping, right?
Well,
and not going along with it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. But all that like entails, like, so you have academic pressure, you have pressure of traumatic experience, you have conflicting emotions about your is it or is it not your boyfriend type of deal, who kind of didn't, you know, message you for a while and then finally did. So like there's so much conflict there that this, whatever this was, this method, this, you know, thought process of forcing on this class, it's like, it's so distasteful to me that it makes me like legitimately like supremely dislike this episode so much. Like it's such a swing and a miss. And like the fact is that we've talked about it with like Detmer, you want them to go through and deal with the trauma, but you would also really appreciate it if they dealt with it in a healthy way. You know what I mean? And this it didn't feel healthy to me at all.
But like we have had people deal with trauma like in Star Trek before. Like I'm just gonna go to Nog. I'll just pull up Nog for a second, right? Nog is in war, right? He has this trauma, he loses his leg. He does not deal with it in the appropriate way, right? He isolates himself and hides in the holodeck. How does Nog get over his trauma? Like, what is the specific thing that helps him get over this trauma? Like, I don't know, Chase, do you remember what is the thing? Is it just Vic telling him snap out of it? Like,
well, I'll go back to what I was saying about what Diane Langberg talks about: time, tears, and talking. You have all three of those with Nog. If we're talking about that particular episode, which was my comfort episode, you have all three of those things. Like, you have to truncate it. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I understand you have to truncate this for the purpose of a TV show, for crying out loud. But he's traumatized by, obviously, the war, being in the Dominion War and losing his leg. And even though, like, the prosthetic is meant to feel like the real deal, he knows it's not. So he's reckoning with a loss, and he's doing it. I mean, trauma is going to make you pull back, because like you've lost, like, you're reckoning with a change in yourself, a very meaningful change in yourself, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. You're dealing with some kind of change, regardless, whatever the circumstance might be. So time, he checks the box with time. Okay, he spends, I can't remember how much time he spends in the holodeck with Vic, but he's in there for a long freaking time.
Yeah.
Talk. He's talking with Vic. He's becoming buddy with the dude. He's the only one that he trusts, right? And that's part of the process when we're talking about work. Who can we trust? Who can we confide in? Who can we feel safe with, right?
Okay.
And he does that.
I have a
question.
question.
And then the tears, same thing.
But when you say talk, is talk meaning talk through the pain you've been through, the events you've been through, or is talk just talking to someone in any way? Because I don't feel like Nog is talking with Vic about the trauma and about the events that he went through.
He does, to a certain extent, but like, the thing is, I'm trying to be very careful with my words for different reasons. With the talk, part of it is like kind of like limit testing, like, who do I feel safe with? Okay. In terms of how far can I go with a conversation? So like with a professional, there's supposed to be this expectation that I can trust you, but they're another human being too that you're sitting across from. You have to like develop that rapport, that therapeutic alliance, and establish that trust, period. And Vic's not functioning as a counselor in the same way that Deanna Troi would, by any means, or Ezri would.
Well, yeah, didn't he also though have some discussions with Ezri though? Because she was there, right?
Mm-hmm. He did, yeah. So there is the talk. So like, it's small, but they're developing a sense of trust and safety, which is important. And then it does eventually kind of get to like a tipping point where he does talk more about his leg. And then certainly at the very end where he's talking like with his friends and family outside the holodeck, or the holosuite, I'm sorry. They're on DS9. And he cries about it. Like he's emoting and having like physical signs of the grief with his tears, right? In talking about the loss and what he went through in the war. So to me, like with what Diane Langberg talks about with those three things, checks the box in every single one of them. Like to go back to your question, Eric.
Okay. All right, so Tilly comes in. We're going to talk theater, right? I'm still not sure how theater is the thing that's supposed to help them learn, like as Caleb said, learn to fly a starship. I mean, I know they're not there just to learn to fly a starship, but not necessarily sure how theater is. I love theater. But is it the thing? It's an elective. It should be an elective, right?
It plays the thing.
Okay, but also Tilly also says, theater is a great tool for societal change, and I believe that 100%, right? And Star Trek has already done that idea with the Voyager episode. I'm drawing a blank on it. It's not the Muse, because that's the Deep Space Nine episode, the terrible Deep Space Nine episode. Whatever. There's an episode. B'Elanna is marooned on some old planet, right? And there's like a Greek theater, and he's using like the playwright is using her stories, and he's trying to, like, his patron was offended, and they're trying to make the awesome play to stop the war, right? Star Trek has covered that, right? I forget what was the name of that damn episode. I don't know. I forget. I should have looked it up. I thought I would just be able to pop that title off the top of my head, right?
Do your thing, yeah. Do the thing, Eric. Come on, man.
Oh my gosh. And Harry Kim's in it, right? Toward the end. He has to walk all those kilometers there. Anyway, I like that idea, and I believe it. Theater can be a cause for societal change, right? And I don't know. I looked up this play that they're talking about. I'd never heard of it, right? I don't know if you'd ever heard of it. It's a Pulitzer Prize winning play from 1938, so it's very well regarded. But in a sense, I also think can we call a Pulitzer Prize winning play obscure?
I mean, by that point,
but like by our stand, what I'm trying to say is, like, they're using this play that the average person is not going to be familiar with at all to sort of drive the plot of this episode. And I don't know, is it the right choice? Like, obviously it's a very well regarded play, but if we don't know, if we, general collective, we as an audience don't really know the play, like, does that hinder the episode? That's just my question.
Perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But they're talking through this play. Lots of scenes where they're trying to analyze it, be the dramaturge, right? Mm-hmm. It's not very. I don't know. It's not very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It could be interesting, right? Could be, but, like, I don't know.
So
I fell into the boring part again.
So I just want to ask this, because, you know, there's the morale, there's the grief, the trauma that we've been talking about, and that's why Tilly's been called in, okay, to kind of help them all deal with their stuff and kind of, you know, do the Bob Newhart and kind of get over it type of thing. The way that this ends up getting framed and carried through the rest of the episode, it seems like it's less of a story about our ensemble and more a Sam-focused episode.
No, I actually enjoy that storyline, right?
Yeah.
And I get, like, what you mean is, like, Sam is the one who picked this play, and they're sort of, like, doing it for Sam, right? That's the only reason they want to continue, because it's what she would have wanted.
Right, but, like, if you're if you're trying to really focus on the ensemble, like, within the story itself, I would think there'd be more focus on the ensemble than just Sam, because, like, it starts out with everyone, right? But then, like, it's like they hit, like, warp 2.5 or something, and they just go and do the Sam thing, and, like, everyone else is just kind of there arguing over if they're going to read the line or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this whole time I'm, like, wondering, Sam is a photonic, got shot with a phaser, and is dying because of it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Are we done with, like, the play discussion of it all? I don't know. Is there anything else there? Is there?
There's breakthrough at some point.
Yeah, but is it good breakthrough?
It's forced breakthrough because there's a grade, which I have a problem with. It's an abuse of power. I have big problems with power, with issues of power dynamics. It's an abuse of power, in my opinion. To use your power and your influence to provide to say like, if you don't do this, you aren't going to be in good standing with me. In this case, it's a grade.
Yeah.
I do not like that at all. That is also an abuse dynamic right there, which I am not okay with.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that either. Right, as coming from somebody who is, that's my chosen profession. Right, I have a big problem with that. Same. Yeah. But I don't know. I want to talk about the Doctor, right? I love the Doctor. I love Robert Picardo. I think he's the same character, but he's so different here, right? You know, he is dealing with his own trauma in a sense. Like, he has had these friends, right, who he has lost, right? And as such, he's sort of pulled back, right? He's pulled back. He's retreated into himself to deal with his own trauma and loss. And he sees Sam that first day, and he's like, I see somebody that I want to gravitate to, but I've been hurt in the past, and because of that, I'm going to put up this steely exterior, right? And then the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, he doesn't want to be her mentor because he was a mentor to Seven, right? And they had a big relation. They had a really strong relationship, and Seven is long gone, right? Janeway was a mentor to him, right? Janeway helped him grow and become like an actual person more than just this hologram with rude bedside manner, right? And now she's gone, right? And we saw their relationship, and everybody that he knew is gone, and he's in a sense trying to protect himself. And he says in the shuttle, like, I just want to those things are not important to me. I just want to focus on the medical aspect of it.
Yeah.
And Sam is like, how are those things not important, right? They're matter to me. It's what make me me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but she's been glitching out. The Doctor, ran some scans earlier in the episode, trying to figure out what it is, and he realizes he can't fix her. Like, there's no amount of medical knowledge or even, mechanical knowledge, of being a hologram himself, of being a photonic being himself, to be able to fix her. And that's where we kind of hatched the plan that we need to go back to the makers, where she originates from, and or the people there, to really see if they can help kind of remedy whatever situation this is. And we find out basically that what happened on the Miyazaki was traumatic for her, and essentially she didn't have enough backstory. Really, she didn't have any development to really give her a context, to give her a basis into being able to handle something serious.
Yeah, she hasn't learned to deal with her feelings and her emotions the way that you should be, in the way that, like, she's programmed to be 17, but she didn't deal with anything, right?
That's the thing, man.
You have to learn to deal with emotions, don't you?
Yes, but that's the thing, though. Like, even if you do learn about it, trauma flips it on its head, man. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm a freaking professional, and I've gone through stuff myself. Okay, like, I've been stunted myself in some ways, right? And it's a process of healing and growing and experiencing what we call post-traumatic growth from having those traumatic experiences. So, like, to me, like, that dog don't hunt. Like, with what they say, like, as, like, the exposition there at the end about needing, she needs, like, a foundation, which, yeah, you do, I guess, but, like, I don't know. I have challenges with that. Like, doesn't matter how good you are, like, you might stand a little bit of a better chance, but, like, trauma is trauma. It's going to screw you up.
Yep. Yeah, okay. I get that. We get to the end here, and the doctor is like, "Hey, I built a family one time, right?" And I think a really cool episode,
Real
right?
life, yeah.
In real life, and his daughter died. She died in a accident playing Parisi Squares. And he was a doctor, and he could not fix her. He could not save her with all of his expertise, and that was impactful to him, and because of that he doesn't want to latch onto anyone else again, right? Couple that with the fact that everybody else he's ever known, because he says it was 800 years ago, but it was also yesterday, and he's dealing with that. But then I our captain, our chancellor here, right? Nala Ake, she's a Lanthanite, right? Or half Lanthanite. How old is she?
It's like 300, 400 years old, I think.
Is that it? Because she's essentially immortal, right? That's what they said in a couple episodes back. They live so long that they're essentially immortal. Maybe it was Paul Giamatti who said that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But if she's been alive that long, she has presumably gotten close to people and lost people. Mm-hmm. So she has gone through that same thing that the doctor has gone through. I get that the doctor is like wants to be stoic and deal with this himself and not let anybody in, but wouldn't that be somebody that you could go to try to have shared experience with and share that idea of loss with? I feel like she is underused in this episode. Like she might as well not even be there. It might as well just be Sam and the doctor, because she does nothing the entire time she's here. And I feel like it could have been perfect for her to share that experience, at least share a story about someone she knew and lost, and they could have done something with that.
The thing is, man, like, I was actually wondering why she did go. Like, forget the fact that she's the chancellor of the academy. Forget the fact that she's the captain of the Athena. We have essentially a xenophobic race. They want nothing to do with organics, period. And there she is, right there, her organic self. I mean, I thought it would have made perfect sense if it was just the doctor and Sam going. Would have made perfect sense, just them. But like, knowing just a few episodes earlier in series Acclamation and Mill, even going back to the premiere, like how antagonistic these folks are to organics. Why are you showing up? Like, I feel like that's going to make the situation worse than it's going to help. But it seemed like even that was kind of ignored and kind of hand waved away because the emissary to these people is shutting down. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, it was called Muse, that episode that I'm talking of.
No, how about that?
Like, there's The Muse, which is the terrible Deep Space Nine episode, right? And this one's called Muse.
Okay.
Anyway, right? I knew I didn't just forget. Anyway, right? They're going to shut her down. They're going to shut her down because you killed her in 209 days, right? All the trauma. We've learned everything you can, but the doctor agrees to stay behind and be her parent, raise her essentially, and help her learn how to deal with her emotions and trauma and be better.
I need some clarification on something. Genuine question. Was it that he essentially just stayed there and just functioned as daddy for 2 weeks to give her 17 years of being raised by a parent? Or was it, here's a thumb drive, I'm uploading Belle's memories to you? Because I was a little confused on what was happening.
I think because we see that montage of like a young Sam, right? So I think he's legitimately staying there for several weeks with her to get that time.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. But he didn't just upload Belle's memories to her, right?
No, I don't think he shares those with her at all.
Okay. Cool.
'Cause
'Cause I would have had a date like that.
Bell was like 12 or something
Mhm.
like that. Yeah, that's it. And they come home. Everyone's happy to see Sam.
Yep. And scene.
Scene. Jaden does the scene. Good job, Tilly. We'll see you again. Right?
Maybe.
Hope to see you again, Tilly. That's what they say.
Yep. All right. Any other final comments about this episode?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, let's do deltas. So, I'm struggling on this one.
I'm reaching the point where we got with Picard season 2. Like, does it even make sense to talk about deltas in most of these episodes? Because I don't know if that's the point. Like, I don't know if the point of the last episode or this episode is to do those things. I just think we're dealing with character and teen drama here, right? I don't know if this was necessarily teen drama in this episode. I don't want to say that in here because we're dealing with trauma, which should be heavy, but I don't know if we're doing it in the right way. I don't know. My point is, does it make sense to talk about deltas here? Because I'm not finding any.
Well, I mean, the only thing that maybe there's a smattering of it, I'm not quite sure if it's science or engineering or both, but with Sam, the Doctor does realize effectively there's no resiliency built into her programming, and she's just short-circuiting herself. I mean, there's, so they come up with the whole plan of effectively helping her grow up, actually have a childhood. So there's like something to that, I think, if you want to get into it, because the whole point is you are fixing something that is, it's not medical science,
I mean, that's really more of like a operations, like in the engineering kind of side of things, more than anything else. You're engineering an artificial life, really, to kind of undergird some chance of developing resiliency later on in life.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's about it.
Yeah, I can't find any. I think we're reaching.
All right. So, like we did before, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a dumpster fire, 10 being amazing. How we want to rate this?
I mean, the only good part about this was sort of some of the Doctor stuff with Sam. I think we had talked about, like, when are we going to get sort of the trauma dump from the Doctor as well, because he's been acting a little squirrely. I do kind of wish that there was a little bit more, so to speak, because it's not just this, this family that he created. I mean, he also has lost everybody from Voyager and everybody would have known, and then everybody he would have known after that. And, 900 years or whatever, that's a lot of loss, man. So I feel like there could have even been a little bit more depth to that. But like, again, I'm not anywhere even a smidgen close to knowing anything about therapy or, psychology or any of that stuff. But it just kind of irritated me the way they sort of delt's not even the word, ham-fed this whole trauma dumping thing with Tarima and even the rest of the kids. You know, I hate the idea of you just forcing something on people just for the sake of doing it and then having a happy ending at the end just because we want to move on. That to me is just it's bad writing, and it's sort of irresponsible, specifically because this show is seemingly targeted more towards, you know, young adults, and that instant gratification therapy doesn't exist. So that's what irritated me so much about watching this episode. It's like, it feels like you're just trying to instantly gratify an audience that I don't even know you're hooking, and then you're doing it wrong. It just didn't make any sense. So it's like, as much as I enjoyed sort of like the Doctor's role in this, and the Doctor and Sam, and then now they have this basically father-daughter relationship thing, and that's a sweet thing. You know, at the end of the day, that's probably an episode. That's probably a 40 minute episode right there. You could have just had a really nice little episode of that.
And put Darum's B plot.
Yeah.
Right? In that.
Yeah,
there's an episode.
100%. So I can't. I don't even know. Like, I think I'm just gonna give it a 3. You know, just throw a 3 at it. It was not good. I can't bring myself to go lower, but it just wasn't good.
Yeah. I came into this recording here thinking that the second episode was better than the first episode. Right? But after we've talked through it, like, I feel like, Chase, you've really like made me rethink that with all of like your knowledge and your expertise about how we're dealing with trauma here. And wow, it does seem real. It already seemed problematic, but hearing words from a professional, right, an expert, right, even though it's not necessarily your specific area of expertise, right, really like drops it down for me. And it's I think I might be right there with you, David, at a 3.
I'm actually growing in this specialty when it comes to trauma and certain types of abuse that I'm specializing in. I'm actually, I think I've told y'all either on the show or off the show, like our chats and talks and stuff, that I'm working on a research project right now specifically on a type of abuse and kind of how we address certain types of abuse in education settings, like from a training perspective, like for future counselors. The only, I think, saving grace for me is the Doctor. Like, Robert Picardo does a bang up job, man, like with his acting in this episode. Especially like when we're getting to the end of the episode, but it's not enough for me to really boost it in a significant way. I've already, I feel like I've spoken ad nauseum about all these things, like throughout this episode's discussion, like the process of working through trauma, and even like the power dynamics and kind of how, like, the abuse of power by like Tilly and even the administration to a certain extent with what our dear chancellor is effectively asking to be done, manipulating students, really is really what we're doing. So because there's an abuse of power, because we're dealing with trauma, in my opinion, in an inappropriate way, especially within a learning context, I man, I really hated Series Acclamation Mill, like the episode. I really hated that episode. And I'm trying to decide, do I hate it as much? Or do I like it a little bit more? I don't play around with power dynamic issues. So this would be a 1.5 if it weren't for the doctor, but I'm giving it an extra half point because of the doctor. So I'm just going to go with the 2. So,
wow, we're not doing good here. I think this
Not
show
so
is
much.
headed. This show is headed in the wrong direction.
I mean, we're just 3 guys on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're 3 guys that love this franchise.
Yeah. So just to recap, because I know we did Cosine earlier, but the 2 episodes we talked about, Cosine and the Life of the Stars, so episodes 7 and 8, respective ratings. So for episode 7, Eric gave it a 4, David gave it a 5, I gave it a 3, and our average rating was a 4. And then the most recent episode, episode 8, The Life of the Stars, we got David and Eric with a 3 and myself with a 2, which gives us an average rating of a 2.6 repeating. Good grief.
Oh man.
Anyone, I know we're like, this is like still early on, like in the life cycle of this particular episode, but do we have any like early rating numbers on this already?
Yeah, so Cosine has a 4.4 on IMDb.
So we're not too far.
The Life of the Stars has a 6.4.
Wow, we are way off.
I'm just skimming Den of Geek. I don't know if you ever care about that episode, but it's like Starfleet Academy returns into excellent form with The Life of the Stars, an emotionally complicated hour about healing and growth in many forms, satisfyingly layered. Oh my gosh. Yes, it's an episode that's targeted with a laser at theater kids everywhere. But it's also a much better follow-up to the tragic events that unfolded aboard the Mizaki than the clunky Cosine. It actually tries to comfort the long-tail impact of everything these students have been through.
So they say.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we are in the final 2 episodes of the first season soon enough. So we'll see how well they stick the landing with this first season. I mean, the second season is already pretty much like ready to rock and roll. So I'm assuming it'll probably be a similar situation, right? Like probably in early 27 when season 2 comes out, because that's already been ordered. There hasn't been an order on season 3 yet. So it's just a wait and see kind of thing. But I don't know. Any closing thoughts before we pull into Space Dock, guys?
Nope.
No.
All right. Well, guys, as always, thanks for putting up with me and putting up with each other talking about this stuff. All you out there in listener land, same thing as well. Love to hear your thoughts. I know that I have a unique perspective with being in the field and stuff, and that kind of colors how I think about things like this. But in all honesty, like I'd love to hear your thoughts, kind of like your own experience, like watching this and kind of engaging with it. Get in contact with us, trtvpod@gmail.com. Or of course you can send us a voice only to 817-752-4757. There's a 3-minute limit, so just be aware of that. But yeah, feel free to record your thoughts there in a voicemail for us. Other than that, if you want to mail us something, like maybe a copy of the play Our Town, you can get that to Lone Star Station at P.O. Box 2455, Azle, Texas 76098. Everyone, thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, remember to boldly go and make it so.